Vehicle fire, caused by a technical defect. Extinguish the fire and if necessary, treat all casualties and take them away. Building on fire, caused by electrical appliance short-circuiting. Extinguish all fires and if necessary, treat all casualties and take them away.
On our way. What's up? On our way. On my way.
Medical emergency. Report of a circulatory collapse. Treat and take the victim away.
On my way. Listening. I'm on it. Immediately. Yeah? What's up? On my way. On my way. On my way. On our way. Understood. Listening. Consider it done. Yeah, on my way. Yeah, on our way. On my way. On my way. Immediately. Yeah. Understood. On my way. Yeah. Understood. On my way. On my way. Yeah. On my way. Consider it done. What's up? On my way. What's up? What's up? On my way. What's up? No problem. On our way, yeah? What's up? On our way. On the way. Yeah, on the way.
There are reports of a traffic accident involving several vehicles. Treat all casualties and take them away.
Listening. I'm on it. What's up? Will do. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir. Will do. Listening. On my way. What's up? Immediately. On my way. Immediately. On our way. On my way. On my way. Listening. Consider it done. On my way. Yeah. Consider it done. Will be done immediately. What's up? Yes, sir. Listening. Listening. Will be done immediately.
On my way. On our way.
What's up? That's okay. On my way. Yeah? Got it.
On our way.
What's up? Got it. On our way. Yeah? We'll be done immediately. Yeah? On my way. Yes, sir. Let's go. Listening. That's okay. On my way. On our way.
On our way.
On our way. Listening. Got it.
On my way. Listening.
On my way.
Yeah? On our way.
On my way. Listening. On our way. On our way. Listening. On our way. Got it. Listening. On my way. On our way. What's up? Yes, sir. On my way. Consider it done. Listening. Will be done immediately. On my way. Yeah? Got it. On my way. On my way. Immediately. Listening. On our way. Consider it done. Consider it done. On my way. Yes, sir. Yeah? On my way. Got it. Yeah? On my way. Yeah, on my way. What's on our way? Consider it done. On my way. Listening. On it. On my way. I'm on it. Listening. On our way. Consider it done. On our way. Listening! On my way! Got it! On our way. Listening. Will do. Will be done immediately. What's up? On our way. Listening. On our way. Understood. Yeah? On my way. On our way. Understood. What's up? On my way. Understood. What's up? I'm on it. On our way. What's up? Let's go. Listening. On my way. I'm on it. Listening. On my way. On our way. Listening. What's up? Listening. Consider it done. On my way. Listening. Listening. On my way. What's up? On my way. On our way. Yeah? I'm on it. On our way. Listening. On our way. Yeah, on my way. Will be done immediately. On my way. Listening. On our way. On our way. Yeah. Yes. What's on our way? On our way. Yeah? On my way. I'm on it. Listening. What's on my way? On my way. Listening. Done immediately. Listening. On my way.
Attention. We have a report of pickpocketing. The thief is escaping. Arrest him and take him away. Medical emergency. Someone is suffering from shock. Treat and remove.
On our way. On the way. Listening. I'm on it. Listening. On my way. I'm on it. Listening. On my way.
Vehicle fire caused by a technical defect. Extinguish the fire and if necessary, treat all casualties and take them away. Attention! There is a person running amok in the operational area. Arrest or neutralize this person and take him away. And don't forget to treat those victims.
On our way. On the way.
Confirming. On our way.
Understood. On the way.
What's up? Will do. On our way.
Yeah. What's up?
Attention!
On the way.
We have a report of pickpocketing. The thief is escaping. Arrest him and take him away.
What's up? On the way.
Listening. On my way.
On the way. What's up? Will do. Listening. On the way.
Will do. On our way. Yeah?
Medical emergency. Someone is suffering from shock. Treat and remove.
On our way. On my way. I'm on it.
Attention.
On
An
the
incident
way.
of shoplifting has been reported. The thief is escaping. Arrest and take him away.
Listening. I'm on it. On my way.
There are reports of a traffic accident involving several vehicles. Treat all casualties and take them away.
On our way. On my way. Listening.
Will be done immediately.
On our way. Got it. On my way. On my way. What's up? Yeah? Yeah? Yes, sir. On our way. On it. Listening.
Listening. On my way. On our way. Yeah? On our way. Listening. Listening. Got it.
On my way. On my way. What's up? On it.
Yeah?
Yeah? On my way. Will be done immediately. Yeah? Listening.
What's up?
What's up? Will be done immediately. Yeah. Understood. Listening. On my way. Yeah. Will do. Listening. On my way. On our way. No problem. What's up? On my way. On my way. What's up? On our way. On my way. What's up? On my way. Listening. On our way. Yeah. On our way. Yeah. Understood. On our way. Consider it done. What's up? Starting work. On my way. Yeah. Will be done immediately. On our way. Listening. Will be done immediately. Starting work. Listening. On my way. What's up? On my way. On my way. What's up? What's up? On our way. What's up? On my way. Listening. Will be done immediately. Yeah. On my way. On my way. Consider it done. What's up? On my way. Yeah, on my way. Listening. What's up? On my way. On our way. Yeah, starting work. On my way. On my way. What's up? Will be done immediately. Listening. On my way. On my way. Consider it done. Listening. On my way. Yeah, on my way. What's up? Understood. On my way.
Vehicle fire caused by a technical defect. Extinguish the fire and if necessary, treat all casualties and take them away.
What's up? Confirming. Yeah? Yes. On our way. Listening. Will do. Yeah. Confirming. On my way.
Person injured by faulty electrical appliance. Treat
On my
and
way.
remove.
On my way. On my way. Listening. On my way. No problem. Listening. On my way. Yeah. Immediately. On my way. What's up? On my way. Consider it done. What's up? On our way. Yeah. On our way. Listening. Immediately. What's up? Understood. Listening. Got it. Will be done immediately. On my way. Yeah. On my way. Consider it done. Listening. Immediately. Yeah? Okay. What's up? Consider it done. Starting work. Listening. Listening. On our way. Yeah. What's up?
There are reports of a traffic accident involving several vehicles. Treat all casualties and take
will
them
be done
away.
Immediately. On our way. On the way. On the way. On our way. On the way. On the way. Listening. On the way. What's up? On the way. Will be done immediately. On the way.
Yeah? On our way. On my way. What's up?
Listening. Got it.
Yeah? On our way. On our way. Listening. On my way.
Let's go! Immediately! What's up?
Yeah? On my way. On our way.
Listening! On our way! Yeah? Will do. Yes, sir. Listening. Confirming. What's up? Will be done immediately. On our way. Listening. On my way. Consider it done. Listening. On my way. Listening. Listening. On my way. Listening. On our way. Will be done immediately. What's up? On our way. Will be done immediately. What's up? Yeah, I'm on it. Listening. On the way. Listening. Will do. Yeah? On our way. On our way. On the way.
Unauthorized demonstration taking place. Arrest the demonstrators and take them away.
On the way. On the way. On our way. On the way. On the way. Consider it done. Yeah? On our way. We'll be done immediately. On our way. Immediately. What's up? On our way. Understood. Listening. On the way. Yeah. On the way. Listening. On our way. Consider it done. On my way. Yeah? On my way. We'll be done immediately. On the way. On my way. On my way. On our way. On my way. On our way. On my way. On my way. On my way! On my way! On our way! What's up? On our way! On my way! Listening! On my way! On my way! Yeah? On my way. Listening, on our way. Listening, on my way. On my way. On my way. On my way. On our way. What's up? On my way. Listening. Resist! On our way! Resist! 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 On my way! On my way! On my way! On our way! Consider it done! On our way! Resist! 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 Yeah? Resist! Resist! On my way! Resist! Resist! On my way! Resist! Resist! What's up? On our way! Roger! What's up? Resist! Resist! On our way! Yeah? Yes! Resist! Resist! On our way! What's up? Immediately! Listening! On our way! Roger! What's up? On our way! Yeah? Okay! Roger! On my way, immediately! On our way! What's up? Yes! On our way! Roger! On our way! On our way! On my way! Yeah? Yeah? On my way! Listening! On my way! Yeah? Resist! 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 On our way! Resist! 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 Yeah? Lift on our way! Yes! Yeah? On our way! What's up? Will be done immediately. What's up? I'm on it. Yeah? On the way. I'm on it. Yeah? Will do. Listening. Will be done immediately. Listening. On my way. Okay. What's up? On my way. Listening. Will be done immediately. Yeah? On my way. Will be done immediately. What's up? What's up? Do? Roger. Yeah? On my way. Yeah? Listening. I'm on it. What's up? I'm on it. Yeah? Will be done immediately. Listening. Will do. On our way. Listening. Will do. On my way. Listening. Roger. Listening. On our way. I'm on it. Yeah? 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 I'm on it. Listening. On my way. What's up? What's up? On our way. Yeah? On our way. Yeah? On my way, yes. What's up? On our way. Okay. Yeah? On my way, yes. Listening. Yeah? Let's go. On my way. Yeah? I'm on it. Yeah? On my way. Let's go. Listening. On my way. Let's go. Listening. Let's go. On our way. Yeah? On our way. Listening. On my way. Yeah, I'm on it. Yeah, consider it done. Listening. Yeah? Consider it done. On our way. Aye, sir. Listening. Listening. On my way. Consider it done. Yeah? What's up? Yeah? On our way. On my way. Yeah? On our way. On my way. Listening. our way. Will be done immediately. Yeah? I'm on it. On my way. What's up? On our way. Consider it done. West tank. West tank. On our way. On my way. On our way. Listen. On our way. What's up? On our way. Let's go. Immediately. Yeah? On our way. On the way. Yeah? Let's go. Yeah? On our way. What's up? Let's go. West tank. On my way. Consider it done. I'm on it. Yeah? Yeah? Consider it done. Listening. On my way. Yeah? Got it. West tank. Listening.
Listening. On my way.
What's up? Okay. What's up? Let's go. On the way. Will be done immediately.
Yeah, on my way.
What's up? Consider it done.
Yeah, on my way.
What's up? On our way. On the way. On the way. Consider it done. Yeah? Will be done immediately. On my way. Yeah, will do. On our way. What's up? On my way. Okay. Let's go. Yeah, I'm on it. What's up? Will be done immediately. On our way. On my way. Consider it done. Listening. On my way. Listening. I'm on it.
Listening. On my way. Listening. On our way. On my way.
On my way. On our way. Listening. On my way. Yeah? Listening. I'm on it. What's up? On our way. What's up? On my way. On my way. What's up? On my way. On our way. Consider it done. Yeah? What's up? Will be done immediately.
Attention. Violent hooligans are gathering. Arrest and remove.